And let's get started on today's lesson, which is parent and child attachment and bonding. And like I did last week, I will send out the classroom sheets. That way you can read more about it at home and practice it at home. Fair enough? All right. So, and one caveat that I almost always give you guys. This is the curriculum. Take what you need and leave the rest. If you don't agree with something, that's perfectly fine. Your household will be run the way you want your household to be run. All I can do is give you the information, and it's your choice what you do with it. Fair enough? Okay, great. So, and I'm not going to read this word for word because that would be boring for you. So I'm going to try and not read it word for word. So the first page talks about, I hope that was not my coworker knocking. We'll see if I hear any more banging. But the first page talks about how infants are developmentally very needy young people, which if you guys have kids, you know that babies cannot take care of themselves. You guys have to do it, right? It says infants are dependent on their parents and other caregivers for their survival. Babies literally cannot do anything. They can't lift their heads, they can't feed themselves, they can't walk themselves, they can't bathe themselves. You guys have to take care of them. As adults, we often take for granted the basic abilities that allow us to function as capable, independent people. But these same skills and abilities are not yet developmentally available to young children. Makes sense, right? So babies have extreme dependency on being protected from harm, being fed, clothed, cleaned, being accepted and being loved, being talked to, being sung to, being read to, being valued. I tell you guys every day or every time I see you that you're worthy. A baby can't tell itself that it's worthy. You guys are old enough to tell yourselves you're worthy, but a baby can't do that. So this basic reliance on parents for survival biologically forms the basis for infants to develop a close and dependent relationship with their parents. Could we be talking about bonding and attachment? Don't mind me, y'all. I'm still silly. So it says moms feel a special connection with their children. This closeness is created by her body chemistry, basically by forming the child, right? That's not to say that dads don't form attachments. They're just saying that moms have a special bond. It says this mutual feeling of closeness between the parent and the child is called bonding. Bonding. Can we say it? Like, let's do Dora the Explorer. Can we say bonding? Blink, blink, blink. So bonding is generally recognized as the period shortly after birth when the baby and the parents begin to get to know each other and begin to form a degree of emotional closeness. Some hospitals, I don't know if you guys participated in this, but some hospitals, after the baby is born, after the nurses and doctors make sure that baby and mom are okay, weigh the baby and whatnot, they do something which is called the magic hour. And it could be called something different at different hospitals, but basically everybody leaves except baby, mommy, and dad. And they just get an hour just to connect and bond right after birth. If you have the ability, if you're pregnant and you have the ability to do that, I would suggest you ask your hospital or wherever you're going to be birthing if you guys can do that. Usually there's skin-to-skin contact, and it's just a quiet hour for the parents and the baby to have that immediate bond. It says, in many ways, bonding is the continuation of the relationship that began during pregnancy. Any of my pregnant moms know you can literally touch your baby and the baby will respond and kick back. Or dad can walk in the room and start talking and baby starts kicking. There's a relationship already created while baby's in the belly, and that continues once baby's born. All right, so we're turning the page and it says ways to bond with your baby. So I'm not going to go over every single one of these, but let's talk about a few of them. So in this relationship of love, several things parents can do to build the parent-child bond. Let's see, the number one thing is you can touch your baby, you can hold your baby, you can love on your baby. Touching is very important. If you took the Nurturing Touch class probably 2 or 3 months ago, we talked about how studies have shown if babies are fed, clothed, changed, but have no touch, babies will die. Touch is a personal touch is a need. Everybody needs to be touched. Now, as we get older and people have traumas and emotions associated with touch, that could change. But as an infant, touch is a necessity. Nurturing, emotionally loving touch is a necessity. So it says, after birth, hold your baby. Ask to have the baby lie on your chest, making sure there's skin-to-skin contact, and gently stroke the baby's body. Just hold the baby, love on the baby, rub the baby. It says touch your baby's hands, your baby's face, get to know your baby's body, and kind of connect. It says connect with your baby's soul. Doesn't that sound nice? I think it sounds nice. Now, for those of you that are pregnant right now, things might change in our new normal with quarantine and with don't touch this, don't touch that. You should always be washing your hands before you touch your baby anyway. But I think we just have to be extra precautious in this world, this new world with COVID-19. Okay, so just be mindful of that. It says, did you know? Did you know? Touch is the first sense that is developed, and it is the one that is necessary for survival, which we already talked about. It says another way that you can bond with your baby is to talk to your baby. So, of course, your baby hasn't developed conversational skills as a newborn, but you can still talk to your baby. Talk to your baby while you're still pregnant. Read to your baby. It says you can sing to your baby, tell your baby how proud and happy you are to have the baby join your family. Tell the baby all the wonderful things that you have planned for the baby and the family in the future. That sounds awesome to me. Like, I would want my boo thing to tell me that. Why wouldn't I want my parent to tell me that too? It says, did you know? I feel like I should have like some sort of sound for the did you know parts. Like, did you know, ding, or something. I don't know. But it says, did you know babies can recognize their mother's voice from the voices of others and will turn toward their mom when the mom is talking? Isn't that so cool? I'm sure some of you have already experienced that. But isn't that amazing that your baby knows your voice? Because your baby's been hanging out with you in your belly for a while. Let's see, the third thing you can do to bond with your newborn, smile. Smiles are free, y'all. It doesn't cost anything to smile. Smile at your baby. Now, I know I have resting whatever face. So when I'm not, talking and being energetic and whatnot, my neutral face looks like I'm trying to kill somebody. So smiling is important, just smile at your baby. If your baby does something fun, look at the baby. Babies are experiencing the world for the very first time. Everything that they do is new. If your baby puts that toe in his mouth, Oh my goodness, look at you. If that baby smiles at you, it might even be gas, but smile back at the baby. Smile, laugh, coo, interact with your baby. Did you know? Ding. It says, did you know the pleasant facial expression that smiling brings can also trigger a smile from your baby? Babies mimic. So even if a baby doesn't understand a smile yet, they see mommy, daddy, caregivers, siblings smiling. Baby's gonna give that toothless grin back. And y'all know what grin I'm talking about. It's so cute. They just gums all out, right? Exactly. So smile at your baby. That helps with the bonding. It says, look at your baby. Make eye contact. Observe your baby and notice his or her facial expressions and body postures. Learn your baby's cues. So babies can't necessarily talk and be like, hey, I'm hungry, or hey, come give me attention. But they can start giving you cues. When you see your baby rubbing their eyes, they probably are tired, right? So over time of you observing your baby, interacting with your baby, you'll start to understand the cues, and that comes from looking in their eyes. I see you. I see you. I really hope y'all are at home laughing right along with me. This is hard not having you guys in front of me to like gauge your reactions, but I really hope you guys are laughing at how silly I can be sometimes. Did you know? Bing. Being aware of your baby's cues is called attunement. Can you say that with me? Attunement. Being attuned to your baby is a very important function of bonding. Oh, and the pages that you guys have, it has pictures of people bonding with their babies. Another way to bond with the baby is respect the baby's cues. So being attuned to your baby and her needs, learning how she communicates, learning how she feels about things, and learning what she might be trying to tell you is the deepest sense of bonding that you and your baby can experience. And once again, this is not just mommy and baby. Daddy and baby can do this too. Other caregivers can do this as well. You just got to be there. You've got to actually participate in order to have this experience. Feeding your baby is another way to bond with your baby. So moms kind of get a leg up. Breastfeeding moms kind of get a leg up because they can immediately start breastfeeding and having that bond. Because baby's right here, 6 to 8 inches away? Eyes are connected. But dads can bond too. Whoever is feeding that baby can bond too. The key is you have to pay attention. You can't have your phone in one hand while baby's here, and mind you, that's not to say you can never have your phone in your hand while you're feeding the baby. But at the beginning, as you both are learning this whole new newborn feeding thing, pay attention. Put the phone down, for the first couple of weeks, first 3-4 weeks, however long you can do it, and just pay attention and look at the baby, talk to the baby, stroke the baby's face while you're feeding the baby, rub the baby's arms. Sometimes you'll notice that babies will grab out and hold your hand while you're feeding them. So just pay attention the first few weeks and give your entire attention to the baby. Once again, this is not just moms. Dads can do this too. Other caregivers can do this as well. Pay attention and interact with the baby while you're feeding, okay? Another, next page. We've got some more pictures. Ooh, you like my Vanna White skills? So it says parent and child attachment. So it says the bond that begins at birth between the parents and their baby forms a positive and close relationship that continues to develop as the child grows older. This long-term bond is called attachment. That's something new for me. So when baby first comes out and y'all are connecting, that's called a bond. But when you turn the bond into long-term, that becomes attachment. That's really kind of cool, right? I always just use the terms interchangeably, bonding and attachment, same thing, right? It is not the same thing. Bonding, newborns, initial, ooh, I see a baby, hey! But yeah, bonding is that initial. Attachment is long-term bonding, okay? It says the theory of attachment, we're going to get into some psychology now. Y'all know it's my favorite subject. The theory of attachment is based on the idea that an infant's first relationship experience, usually with the mother, shapes that child's social, emotional, and cognitive development. Isn't that huge? That's huge, right? It says when the mom responds to her child's needs in a sensitive, consistent, and nurturing manner, then the child receives important messages of, I'm here for you, I care about you, and you are important to me. These messages are important in forming the emotional basis of trust and security. Remember, a child that has trust and security usually turns into an emotionally stable adult that can trust others. And a child that lives in a state of uncertainty and distrust usually has emotional issues as they grow. So how you're treated or how you treat your kids when they're born growing up will affect them the rest of their life. Fair enough? All right. It says professionals who study the quality of parent-child relationships are quick to note that attached parent-child relationships are very important for positive mental health. According to the New York Attachment Center, early parent-child attachment relationships are essential for 5 reasons. They lay the foundation for our basic ability to trust. They serve as a model for future emotional relationships. Ooh, I know y'all have dated folks and you're like, how old are you mentally? They might not have gotten that bond when they were kids. 3, they help develop our ability to regulate stress and trauma. They form our sense of identity, self-worth, and competency, and they lay the foundation for pro-social morals such as compassion, empathy, and conscience. So it's so important to have that initial relationship with your child so that they grow up to be healthy emotionally, stable emotionally, and able to have compassion and empathy for others. It then goes on to start talking about attachment disorders. We're not going to talk about that. We're not there. We're not there. This is not a psychology course. So when I send this out, you guys can read all about attachment disorders, but we're going to skip right over that for right now. Okay. So it talks about healthy and unhealthy attachments. So if you have secure and insecure, which one do you think is healthy? Ding, 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 secure attachments. This is the best type of attachment for parents and their children to experience. In secure attachments, the child perceives that the primary caregiver is supportive and feels free to explore the world safely. Secure attachments are healthy attachments. So children who do not experience an attached, secure relationship within the first 3 years of life often develop unhealthy attachments. So once again, we're not going to dive too deep into that, but unhealthy attachments are anxious attachments and avoidant attachments. So clingy, clingy, needy, or I don't need anybody, I'm good. Clingy, 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 needy, needy, needy. I don't need anybody, I'm good. I can do it by myself, right? Y'all know people on both ends of the spectrum. And that could have come from not having a healthy attachment with a caregiver in their first 3 years. Once again, this does not apply to everybody. I don't want y'all going around psychoanalyzing everybody you meet like, your mama ain't love on you when you were a baby. Don't say that. Don't do that. This is just kind of a generalization across the board, okay? So we're going to skip the Attachment disorders. Let's talk about how you build strong parent-child attachments. So we've already talked about how to build it with babies, touch them, talk to them, look at them, interact with them. What happens when your baby is no longer a little itty bitty newborn? How do you continue that attachment relationship? So we talked about attunement. Basically being present and responsive to your child's needs is the attunement process. That has to continue. It says when parents are attuned to their baby, they engage the child in being a part of and understanding the world they live in. So here are some things that you can do with your child. Touch your child. Do massage. We talked about infant massage in class one day. Do massage. Do like a bath time ritual and massage lotion into your child during the ritual. It doesn't have to be every day because I know that takes time, but maybe once a week on Sundays to get ready for the school week ahead. Give your baby, give your child a nice little massage with some lavender lotion, put them to sleep, and then they start their Monday on a good note. Fair? It says make eye contact and smile. We have talked about putting that phone down and actually interacting with your child. Your child comes to you and is like, mommy, 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 look what I did, look what I did, look what I did. I know that the child does it 27 times a day. But maybe 6 times you could actually put down your phone and look at the child and say, show mommy what you did. And then the child shows you something ridiculous, some scribbles or something, but you have to make it seem like it is the most genius work of art in the world. You've got to interact, put that phone down, look at your child in the eye and say how amazing whatever it is they just showed you. Sometimes kids are like, mommy, look at me. And then they jump half an inch and you're like, really? But for that child, that was a moment of pride and they wanted their parent to acknowledge it. Okay. Let's see, talk to your child. It says, describe the color and shape of objects around the house and in the yard. So as you're walking room to room, do you see that red picture on the wall? Or you're looking outside, do you see the squirrel? What color is the squirrel? Is it brown? And that's how the child learns about the world around them, as well as that continues that attachment. Read books with your child. Describe what you see. So the children's book might be 5 pages. So if you were an adult reading it, you'd be done in 32 seconds. But with the child, you're going to take your time. You're going to read it. You're going to show them the pictures. You're going to be like, do you see that? Do you see that tree? What color are the leaves? Are the leaves green? And of course, this will be done on an age-appropriate level with the child, but interact, have fun. Help the child read, What letter is that? Is that a D? Can you say D? This is how you interact and attach with your child on a consistent basis. Play with your child. Get down on the floor. Look, your knees might squeal a little bit. I know we're not as young as we used to be, but make your way to the floor. Build a fort with them. Play with Lego blocks with them. Have a tea party. Just get down on their level and engage and imagine. Use your imagination with them. If they want to be a pirate fighting a dragon in the mountains, well, then you be a mountain fighting a dragon in the mountains too, even though you're in the living room. So engage with your children on their level. It says creativity, fantasies, and imagination are all a part of the world of a child. Yeah? All right. It says show interest in your child's day. Some of you with older kids know that if you say to your child, hey, how was your day? It was fine. So ask open-ended questions. And once again, this also goes with the age level, developmental level of a child. But, instead of saying, how was your day? Hey, what was the best part of your day? Or what did you learn today? So ask questions that they can't just say fine or okay to. Ask questions in a way that they have to respond. Even if they say, my best part of my day was PE when we went outside to play. Oh, really? Great. What did you play? Who did you play with? So just ask them questions about their day. It says use positive discipline techniques. Avoid harsh and hurtful techniques that are detrimental to your child's overall mental health. So, of course, in our curriculum, we're learning, no physical discipline, no spankings, no whoopings, we're learning positive reinforcement. So you acknowledge and reinforce the things that you want and ignore the things that you don't. Once again, not here to tell you how to parent. That's just what we're learning in the curriculum. You're going to, praise the things that you like. And when they're doing things you don't like, you introduce timeouts, or you introduce taking away tablets, or you introduce standing in the corner for 3 minutes, things of that nature. So that is the end of this portion, but y'all know I went on the Googles, because I like to give y'all more than one area of information. So I went on the Googles and found this lovely, lovely article called Building a Secure Attachment Bond with Your Baby. I'm not going to read all of it. We're about 30 minutes in, and I see little babies just having a good old time over there. So we're not going to go through all of it, but I will be sending this out to you guys. I will say we've been having a little bit of scanning trouble here. So if I don't get this article out to you today, it will be in the next week. Even if I have to send you the link and you just have to pull it up yourself, we'll get it to you somehow. So this talks about secure attachment. It talks about the primary caretaker. It's usually the mom, but it doesn't have to be. And it says it's the unique emotional relationship between you and the primary caretaker. It is the key factor in the way that your infant's brain organizes itself and how your child develops socially, emotionally, intellectually, and physically. This is kind of everything we've already talked about how important that attachment is into your child's future life. So it talks about the attachment process. Once again, I'm not going to, revisit all this. Y'all are going to be bored if y'all have to hear the same thing over and over again. But I do want to read this little bulleted area. It says, when babies develop a secure attachment bond, they are better able to develop fulfilling, intimate relationships. How important is that? And that has nothing to do with romantic. It could, but it also is just friendships. Do you know people that don't have any friendships at all? And it's like, how are you 37 and you don't have any friends? Possibly because something went wrong when they were younger and they're either afraid to develop intimate relationships or they don't know how. It says 2, maintain emotional balance. When you have a secure relationship with the primary caregiver, you then learn from them how to deal with anger or sadness or grief or happiness or joy. You learn how to deal with that so that you're not all over the place. Be able to feel confident and good about yourselves. You have a secure attachment with your primary caregiver, and they're constantly saying you're worthy, I love you, you're special, you're unique. You grow up believing that about yourself. 4, enjoy being with others. Secure relationships help you to become secure in yourself so that you're comfortable around other people. 5, rebound from disappointment and loss. Ooh, I know y'all have met people that just do not know how to deal when they don't get their way, or when things just don't go the way they expected it to, and they throw a whole hissy fit. 6, share their feelings and seek support. When you have that secure bonding and attachment as a child, as you grow older, you're better able to share your feelings in a way that people that didn't have that secure attachment might not be able to do. A secure attachment bond is good for you as the parent. It's good for you too. It says nature has programmed mothers and fathers, as well as their infants, to have a falling in love experience through secure attachment. The joy that you experience as you connect with your infant goes a long way to relieve yourself from fatigue, lack of sleep, the stress of learning how to care for your baby. So that's why people have more than one kid. They forget, the love is so overwhelming that they forget, oh man, that childbirth. Oh man, I didn't get any sleep for 6 months, or however long. That feeling of love kind of clouds all that negativity, and all the positives that you get from it overpower that, if that makes sense. So there's more tips in here in this article about attachment and bonding and how to be the best parent you can be. Once again, I'm going to get this out to you for you to be able to read it. It once again talks about learning your baby's cues. It talks about your baby eating and sleeping and being changed and being fed, and how that creates security in themselves. And it even says, don't overlook dads. Dads, you are important too. You should be a part of this too. So I'm going to skip to the last article before I go there. All right, so the very last article, once again, I'll get it to you. It are 20 activities for parent and child bonding. I'm not going to read all 20. Some of these might be repeats from earlier. Read a story together. If your child's old enough to read it to you, then let them read it to you, and you're just there to help out and to exclaim and, ooh, good job on reading that word. Sing songs together. It doesn't matter if you can't sing. If you can't carry a note, it doesn't matter. You are creating an experience for your child. Now, when they're like 12, 13, 14, you know what? It doesn't matter then either, because you're going to embarrass them either way. So, hey, sing off key if that's how you sing. But go ahead and have that fun time with your child or your children. One of my sorority sisters, oh my God, I love this so much. Her and her kids make up songs all the time. If they're cleaning the dishes, they make up a song about cleaning the dishes. They went outside the other day for a family walk and they found a bicycle. They created a song about bicycles. So just be fun and imaginative with your kids. Be silly with your kids. Another thing you can do, bake together. Bake with your kids. It doesn't have to be pretty. You don't have to put it on Instagram. If it doesn't taste good, oh Lord, you can throw it away and start it over. But just have fun baking with your kids. Let them lick the batter, or let them lick the frosting spoon. Just have a good old time. The kitchen will get cleaned. Don't stress about the flour, strewn about, but just have a good time with your kids. Let's see. Ooh, have an indoor picnic. Put down a little blanket or whatever in the middle of the living room and have a picnic. Have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Have carrot sticks or whatever snacks you and your family love, and play games. Watch, Frozen 2 for the 700th time. But have a little indoor picnic, especially now with all the pollen. You don't necessarily want to go outside. So do it in your living room. Build a fort. Let's see. It says, here's another idea. Arts and crafts. Do a coloring book. I've seen where you can take yogurt and like Kool-Aid mix and make finger paint that if they accidentally lick it, it's okay because it's just yogurt and Kool-Aid, and just have them finger paint. There's so many activities that can be done with things that you already have in your home. All you have to do is just be creative and use the Googles, use my bestie, to figure out things that you can do, arts and crafts around the house. It says paint each other's nails. Ooh, y'all, I've been doing a lot of nail painting during this quarantine. You can paint each nail a different color. You can do just have fun. And, kids, Their motor skills are still being worked on. So you might get nail polish down here. That's okay. It'll come off. It'll wash off. But, you know, a lot of us are struggling because we can't go get pedicures. Have your kids do it. Have them scrub your little feet and paint your nails. Let's see another example. Wash the car. We talked about how the pollen is ridiculous. If you've got a hose attached to the side of the house, go on out there and wash the car with the kid. I know the kid can't touch the roof. You get the roof, let them work on the tires, right? Give them a little toothbrush, let them work on the tires. The overwhelming thing, guys, for parent and child attachment and parent and newborn bonding is just to interact with your kids. Spend time with them, love on them, laugh with them, and share your life with them. Let them know how important they are to you and the family.